Hello from sunny Victoria. My name is Garnet Schulhauser, and I am a Level 2 QHHT practitioner and the author of 4 books in the spiritual genre. You can get access to all the information about my books on my website, which is garnetschulhauser.com. All of my books deal with my dialogue and then subsequent astral adventures with my spirit guide, Albert. I'd like to apologize for the sound quality of my last QHHT video, but I believe I've solved the problem now by having a new microphone, so I hope that it all sounds much better for you. If you still have difficulty hearing the audio, please send me a comment and I will try to fix it again. In my last video, I told a couple of knock-knock jokes which were given to me by my 5-year-old granddaughter, Chimera. I've got a number of comments about those jokes, including one comment that said they were so unfunny that they were actually funny. In any event, I'm going to give it one more try with a different joke. So one day, Jesus and Moses were playing golf with an old man who had a long white beard and long silver hair. So the first up is Moses, and he hits the ball high in the air and it lands in the middle of a pond beside the green. Well, that didn't faze Moses any, because he walked to the edge of the pond, and with his staff, he parted the waters of the pond and calmly walked over to where his ball was and then chipped it onto the green. Next up was Jesus. So Jesus hits his ball high in the air, and it too is heading towards the pond beside the green. His ball lands on the leaf of a water lily in the middle of the pond. That didn't faze Jesus either. He calmly walked across the water on the top of the pond to where his ball was, and then calmly chipped it onto the green. Next up is the old man. He swings at the ball, hits it high into the air, heading towards the same pond beside the green. But just before it landed in the water, a fish jumped out and caught the ball in his mouth. But before the fish could land back in the water, an eagle swooped down and caught the fish in his talons. The eagle flew up and up and up, and just as it was crossing the green, a lightning bolt strikes and nearly hits the eagle. The eagle, so startled, he drops the fish. The fish tumults all the way down, lands on the green with a plop. The ball pops out of his mouth, rolls 10 feet right into the cup. So Jesus just glares at this old man and he says, "You know, Father, if you don't quit fooling around, we're not going to play with you anymore." But enough of the frivolities. The video today is about some aspects of the cycle of reincarnation that are very important to most souls. Have you ever heard someone on earth say, "There's no friggin' way I'm coming back to this hellhole"? Well, I've heard that many times from a number of different people, and I've even said it to myself on occasion when everything seems to fall off the rails. What they mean, of course, is that they do not want to reincarnate again on planet Earth. That is a very understandable sentiment, because life on Earth is full of very difficult and often painful challenges. But that leads to the obvious question: do we have a say as to whether or not we come back to Earth, or are we forced to reincarnate by God or the wheel of karma? In my discussions with my spirit guide Albert, and from the information I have gleaned from the higher self in my QHHT sessions, I've learned some very important things about the cycle of reincarnation that I'd like to share with you. The first and most important aspect about the cycle of reincarnation is that every soul at the end of its life has a free choice as to what it does next. This is a free choice that is not dictated to the soul by anyone. The choices are: the soul can remain on the spirit side to rest and gather knowledge and just have fun, or the soul can choose to reincarnate again on planet Earth or into another life form on a different planet. If a soul chooses to reincarnate on Earth, they are free to create their own life plans, which will set out the significant aspects of their next incarnation. And they do so with a view to providing the challenges and the lessons they feel they need to further the evolution of their souls. Souls can get advice on their life plans from the Council of Wise Ones, but at the end of the day, they are free to accept or reject this advice. Given that, you may well ask, if I have a free choice to not come back to this planet, why in heaven's name would I ever do so? From a human perspective, a vow to never return to Earth makes good sense. But once we return to the spirit side, we will see things from a much different perspective. Once back on the spirit side, we will regain all the memories of our previous lives and all the goals we've established for ourselves in all of our previous life plans. From that perspective, we will be able to clearly assess the progress we have made in terms of the goals we set for our soul's evolution. And if we decide after that assessment that another life on Earth is warranted, we will do so cheerfully and with firm determination as we prepare our life plan with the goal of eventually graduating from this school we call Earth, despite the fact that we may have vowed in our last life to never return again. Souls in the spirit side view life on Earth as a very brief adventure on the denser planes. Because linear time, with a past, a present, and a future, does not exist on the spirit side, a lifetime of 80 years on planet Earth is like the blink of an eye to souls in the spirit side. And because souls in the spirit side know that no matter what happens to them on Earth, they will always return to the spirit side, the decision to reincarnate once again on Earth is not really a difficult decision. And you can never become trapped on the wheel of karma. Even if you leave planet Earth with a negative karmic balance, you are not compelled to keep on returning until the scales are balanced. But most souls will do so as a moral imperative because they feel it is the right thing to do to try to balance out the negative karma they accumulated on planet Earth. But ultimately, a soul can always choose to not reincarnate again on Earth, even if they have a negative karmic balance. So you can vow over and over until you're blue in the face that you will never return to this hellhole. But once you get back to the spirit side, you will see things in a much different perspective, and you may well change your mind on this aspect. That should give you something to chew on as you continue your earthly trek. So that's all for now. So long, and remember to keep on dancing.